TradeTrader.com. It's Saturday, June 1st. This is the weekend webinar. An exciting day on Friday, and especially at the end of the day where that rally was huge. But was it just a short covering Friday, pre-weekend short covering rally back to resistance, or was it more significant? Well, let's take a look at the S&P 500. First of all, intraday, check out this late run. For the S&P to go from 52.28 to 52.80, like 52 points in just the last, less than half an hour, was pretty spectacular. What it resulted in was a reversal of the 50-period moving average or near it, and big, what we call engulfing reversal. Now, obviously, we have bigger resistance at the highs at 53.42-ish, just 8 points short of the 53.50 level we were looking for, and so was our former colleague Avi Gilbert, who's pretty good at Elliott Wave, very good. So we see that the S&P has got a massive reversal. The NDX had a massive reversal, but didn't finish positive. I know a lot of people weren't aware of that, but this one came way back from under 9,900 to finish at 10,121. That's a big, big reversal. It's also the lowest level we've seen in several weeks. You can see when, oh, this is a mistake. Sorry, folks. Yep, I had the wrong symbol. I didn't think it was that low. This one went down to 18,000, under 18.2, and snapped back to 18,536, 330-point rally. If you look at the last hour, the same thing occurred here. As a matter of fact, from 3 o'clock on, this one went from 18.3 to 18,530, 240 points just in the last half hour. This is one monster move intraday. So, especially late in the day. But is it just short covering, bargain hunting, computerized trading programs? Well, it really doesn't matter. The bottom line is it bounced off underneath, near support. If you take a look at where the 50-period moving average was below, but it did reverse to get back to the highs for the day, but just slightly down in the day by 2 points, pretty much 1/10 of 1%, actually 100 of 1%. So it wasn't much of a loss, but the bottom line is it was a reversal. If you look at the IWM, really nice reversal, was up 1.2%. And the transportation really had a good day, especially shippers. That was up 1.75%. So you can see the big snapback breakout of the downtrend on the trannies. Not quite the breakout. I would have to say just about, perhaps, closing above that line. But you can see where support is. This is all predicated on a follow-through move or a quick reversal on Monday. So that's going to be important. And taking a look at the components. Well, first, before we do that, I always look at the oscillator to see how overbought or sold is. But we did get down to a minus 137, and that is an island reversal, which usually indicates, because it gapped up the next day, that a pretty strong, at least multi-session reversal could be underway. See here this island reversal, which resulted in that drop, and we had an island reversal there that resulted in that drop. Well, an island reversal off the bottom could result in just the opposite. We had one here almost, and it snapped back for several days. We may get a little extension. That index and the market. The percentage of stocks above their 40-day moving average is now above 50%. Still not great, but at the beginning of a move, if there is one, this V bottom right-handed extension pattern, and this index indicates a move to 70, 72 could be coming. 72%. And now I'll look at the VIX, also volatility index. Obviously, we got down to the lowest level I've seen in it's like 4 years. This is all the way back to 2020, and it did bounce. Friday, it looked like it was running on all week, and then Friday got whacked with the market rally. Actually, 2 points from 1487 to 1284, almost exactly 2 points. That's a good sign for the market, but we'll see if that is meaningful. Don't forget, it was also month end as well, and adjustments took place, perhaps. Options expiration, you got it. Now, the components, and this is important. Market leaders leading the way. Apple, with the big breakout occurred a month ago, and the wedge followed. You can see it's another wedge forming. If Apple follows through next week over 193, we might see a retest of the 198 to 200 range. The actual high here in December, 199.62, which is an all-time high in Apple split adjusted. So I can't complain about this at all. This looks pretty good. Amazon, not so much. It broke down below support, trend lines and everything. Is now, after testing this gap in here and this pullback low, right there, we're now at a critical point in Amazon. We don't want to see any further damage. If it's going to bounce and help the market, it's going to have to do it starting Monday. If not, a breakdown could lead to a test of 166.7. That's another 10 points down. That would be not only negative for Amazon, but for the market, and including a trend line break. So we'll see. Google obviously made a new all-time high a week and a half ago and then pulled back. I'm sorry, not an all-time high, is it? Yeah, it is. It's taking a Netflix. So this got up to almost 180 and backed off to 171, right on the trend line the way I've drawn it. So we hold it here and take that out. We got to move into the mid to high 180s coming. Microsoft, big hit. And as Susie pointed out, this stock took a hit, it's a hard one, but we haven't seen it in a while. We saw this here, but this is even much quicker. For this to go from 2 days ago on Wednesday, from 425 to the low on Friday of 404, that's 21 points for Microsoft. And then the big reversal, that saw it go 10, 11 points and close with a gain on the day. Always significant, particularly off the trend line. But resistance is just where it closed, and then we have 427 to 433. Monster of the midway, NVIDIA, had a good start to the week. It backed off Thursday and Friday. It did bounce off of 1069.70, which is now key initial resistance. It breaks down further, 1015, and the gap is your next support. There's a triple top of source around 1155.58 with a target now of 12 and a quarter, 1225 or more if it should hold and go. Netflix took a hit to support as well, right through here, and bounced not as significant as some of the others. So I'd be looking at Friday's low as a stopping point. Anything under 628 wouldn't be good for Netflix. And you can see that the high here, the 664 would be your target, then followed by 690.95. Meta, pretty weak. And this little rollover pattern after trying to get through the moving averages tells me to stay away from the stock. I don't know if that's the case. It did bounce on Friday, coming down to 454 and finishing at 467-ish. So a nice bounce, but not impressed at all. The volume and technicals don't look great. Meta is a stock I would avoid, at least for now. Up next is Tesla. You can see the multiple waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then a gap, pop, wedge. So it does look like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, doesn't it? So there might be some sort of inverse head and shoulder forming on Tesla, but at the very least, it's a V bottom with a right hand extended coiling platform. So if Tesla pops, it might help the market. My target's 200 to 204, and then 225. But you don't want this one below, and the stop would be under 167.5. So you got a 10-point buffer there. So let's look at the indices, the technicals, and the components of the NASDAQ 100. Now let's look at some of the ETFs we followed closely. Semiconductors, obviously under pressure, 3 days in a row down, but they did bounce on Friday off of what looks like a potential parallel channel bottom right there. I think the key on this one would be any move under 230. On the upside, a retest of 250 might be in order, followed by 260, 65 area. Financials, big day on Friday. They were getting buffered. This stock got down to 112 to 98.5, lost 14 points in a week and a half. And frankly, broke the trend line from what I can see. So, very dangerous pattern that has developed. And although it did bounce, I would carefully watch financials because any move under, in my opinion, 98 could really caused some havoc in the markets. On the other hand, the close was above the moving averages or right at them. And the extension here could test the triple top at 112 and beyond. And finally, the biotechs, LABU, you can see pretty weak until Thursday, Friday when they did bounce. There's some support here, and that's a big number for me. Under 96 in LABU, it's very vulnerable. What I really want to see is over 110, and that gets it running towards 121 and above. XBI is another one in that index. You can see it's similar. We have a lot of stocks to discuss, but before we do that, I wanted to look at a few other ETFs like oil, gold, silver. Now, oil, the USO, which indicates the price of oil itself, you can see bounce, can't get through the moving average, create a new declining top line, and then roll over. This is very vulnerable in my opinion. I think we could see oil in the 72 range or less. USO, ECO, both indicating the same. In the gold sector, the GLD, which tracks the price of gold, got much weaker in the last week. They move under 210.70. Underneath that could result in a much bigger retrace. Now, overall, obviously the GLD is strong, but some of the ETFs are not as strong. Now, we did have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move and a breakout on GDX, but a pretty nasty pullback, and we're at the trend line. Any further damage here? Support is at 34 with a 50 and 32.5 the price support from April. On the upside, if we do make a move, 39 and 41 might be targets for GDX. The stocks I like and track are NUGT and JNUG, both looking similar, both in multiple wave moves and then pull back. If they are wedging in here, your next target will be 52.5 on JNUG and 51.5 on NUGT. In the silver sector, you can see the big pullback Friday, but the overall pattern is a little bit better, in my opinion, than gold. Here's SIL and AGQ. These are the three ETFs I follow. Now, AGQ and SLV look similar, but they're testing now. They better hold it here. Otherwise, you're going to see a deeper retrace towards the rising channel bottom and 50-day moving averages, which are down here. So that's gold and silver and oil. And let's look at gas, where the oil was looking better, and we sure made a nice trade on it. It ran from 14 to 24. Let me show you this one more time. It broke out here where I put a swing on it. It went from 15 and change to 24.72 in a week and a half. That was a nice trade. Then reversed hard. And look at that reversal. All it takes is one bar on big volume. This is exactly what occurred to kill this trend. And boy, did that drop. 24.72 to 15.57. This is a 9-point drop back to lateral price support. And we'll see if that bounces or not. On the other side, the KOLD, which was looking weak, had a nice rebound back to resistance. So let's look at some of the ETFs for the commodities we follow. Just one other thing I want to point out is that WEAT has had a very nice chart of late. It's broken out of a base to long-term declining tops line. And this one may have designs on 7.5, 8, a quarter range over the next few weeks. Keep an eye on that one. All right, a lot of stocks to cover. Let's go over them. Alphabetically as usual. I've just added ACTG this week. I've been following the stock for years. Some of you remember when we traded it back in here. Anyway, it broke down out of a base, retested and broke out again, and Friday had an engulfing positive reversal day. My target now is 6.5 3/4. ADMA and a beautiful rising channel. This junior biotech's gone from 3 to 10, and it's flagging. Next target 11 and 12. AEM, this is a gold miner. Bottom right hand extension, and then multiple waves up. From February, the low was 44.37. The high a week and a half ago, 71.50. Beautiful run, about 75%. I don't think it's done yet either. And if gold continues, this stock might be an $80, $85 stock eventually. AEYE, beautiful chart coming down a little bit here at the channel bottom. Support at 19.565 would be where I'd stop it. Right about there. if it doesn't work, but if it does, 36.7 is the target. ADBE exploded in April, went from literally 39 cents to 4.29. This is a tenfold increase, folks. And then a pullback retest, and now bouncing yet again. It's one of those stocks that could fly. The targets are 4 3/4 and 6. AGEN's V bottom, pop, falling wedge, and breakout, and now flagging at resistance. Your next target, if it runs, would be 20. AGI and Alamos Gold, another gold stock, they're looking great long term, making multi-year highs. We're talking multi-year highs. Let's see. Yeah, the highest level since 2013, 11-year high, folks. One of the stronger junior golds I have on my board, and it's forming a wedge. ALAR, how about this chart? Beautiful rising channel. I can see an extension if it does get going to as high as 50. 36 last. Could be a good swing. AMRX, rising channel, flagging in here. Triple top at 7-ish. We get through that, we're looking at 8 and 9. AMSC breaks out of a consolidation zone at multiple months. There's your breakaway pop and pullback, and then inside day, I like to look. Looking for low 20s and mid 20s. AORT breaks out, retests, and stair steps its way higher. Breaks through multiple tops and pulls back. It's coiling or consolidating in here with a target at 27.28. American Public Education breaks out of a base and stair steps its way higher, currently in a bull coil with a target of 23. APP, App 11, one of our old swings, popped, consolidated, popped, ran up, consolidated, popped, and now flagging. I got a target of 105, 107. ASPN near the top of the channel. It's a beautiful chart. It may need to consolidate, but this rising flag is very strong. Wouldn't be surprised to see it spike into the mid to high 30s. ASTS has been a monster after spiking from literally from 212 to 577 for 150% in 3 days, then pulled back for 3 days on low volume. From there, a spike that took it from 4 to 9 and change, more than doubling, and now a 2-day flag. If it has one more day or so, we might see a pop that could take it to 13, 14. That's my next target. Could be a good swing. In the gold sector, AU, one of my favorite golds as a company and chart. Base breakout would put a swing on it. The stock made it to target number 1 twice. Next target is 30. BLBD in the automotive manufacturing sector. Way back when I reported this, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and breakout. Then stair stepped its way to target 1, coiled for months, broke out and formed a little pennant, and then stair stepped its way higher, and now is exploding with a target of 65, 67. Boston Scientific has been in a great rising channel for 8 or 9 months. Has taken it from high 40s to the mid 70s, and the target now is 81. CADL spiked in April, put a beautiful wedge on, and then ran up nicely. This tech trader swing went from 5 to 14, and then pulled back down. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave at 16, 17 target. CCJ, the largest uranium purveyor, beautiful chart. Look at this long-term chart, absolutely stellar. What does the long-term chart say? High 60s target. CDNA, inverse head and shoulder breakout, breakaway gap, and then a retest of the breakout point right here. If it holds, it targets a retest of 17 and then 20. CGC explodes, pulls back, explodes, pulls back, tries to pop it, then does a 1, 2, 3. Tried again on Thursday and backed off. I really needed to hold 8, a 10. But if it does pop, the key is going to be, can we get over the first 885 and then 10 range? If you do that, you're looking at 11.5, 12, and 14 or more. CGEM, a pop, coil, pop, falling wedge. Your next target is mid-30s. CLFT breaks out of a base with a breakaway gap and forms a wedge. I like the look of this. Should be a swing. My target's 42 and 47. CMCM breaks out of a coil, pops, and forms a flag or some sort of wedge. Next target is 7, 7.25. CMRE in the shipping sector, which is very strong, breaks out of a base and it goes vertical with very little pullback. How about that move? It's gone from 1064 to 16 and change. My target is 19. Coupang, CPNG breaks out of its falling channel, forms a falling wedge. It does a 1-2. Wave 3 and 4 is now completed, I believe. But there's a triple top there we need to get to. If you do, 26 and 29 targets. Quinteo breakaway gap and wedge, we put a swing on it. It's been nothing but beautiful since then, and now looking for low 40s and mid 40s. Carvana has been a monster from literally from 3 to 130, 129. Lately, though, you can see the pullback retest, but it's orderly, and it's doing it on low volume. And it's now filling this gap, and it's near the trend line. So this could, if it goes again, be a $150 stock. DuPont, something I don't normally talk about, but a beautiful long-term triple quadruple top was taken out recently, flagged and popped. I'm now looking for 85.88. DAESP breaks out of base, starts a rising channel, does a 1, 2, 3, 4, wave 5, looks like a 1, 2. I'm looking for 17, 18, and 20. DYN breaks out and pulls back and tests in the long-term rising channel. I have targets at 36 and 40. EBS breaks out of a base with a breakaway gap, forms a little wedge and keeps going, then pulls back. But Thursday, Friday bounce augurs well for more upside. I'm looking for 7, 8, and 9. EGO in the gold sector, very nice chart, very strong pattern, stronger than most. My target is 1920. Elan spiked from the flag, broke out, reversed. At this point, I'm looking for 18.5. To get to that, then I'm looking at 2021. Massive move on ELYM that saw it go literally from 2.5 to eventually 11 and change. But look at the falling wedge that may be coming out. Keep an eye on this one. The technicals are holding up well. If I get a move over 8.25, 8.30, it might take off and be 10, 11 again or more. ERJ, the South American aircraft manufacturer, breaks out of a base, forms a coil, runs up, another one, runs up, and now has a retest. If this does what I think it might, mid-30s target. E2 popped and broke out and pulled back. We put a swing on it. It went to resistance and backed off, but it bounced Friday, I think. The stop is under 440. We want it over 510.15. The target is 5 3/4 and 6.5. EverQuote EVER in a beautiful rising channel for now since last September when it was trading at 5 and change. And it's literally went up to 25 and change. So 5-fold increase, and yet it's coiling. It looks to me like a $30 stock. EXK junior silver stock, very strong. I like that one a lot, along with AG, but EXK is even stronger. And that's why I featured it today. Looks to me like this junior silver stock can be 5 and 6. FCX breaks out of a big base, breakaway gap, run up, wedge, breakout, another wedge, targeting 57. Fried, beautiful base breakout, and then retest. Negative day Friday though, so I'll keep an eye on it. But if it pops 285, targets at 3 3/4 and 4 3/4. FRO in the shipping group is strong as any. Your stop needs to be under 27.5, over 29.5, it's low 30s. Fortuna Silver, another silver stock, beautiful base, breakout, coil, pop and run, very strong, junior silver stock. I'm looking for 7 and 8. FTAI, as strong as it gets in the aerospace group, this stock's just from last October at 32 has gone to 85, and it looks like a $100 stock. GEO, which was a tech trader swing back in October at around 7 3/4, has doubled to 16 and change, and then pulled back. Now the trend line broke here, and the snapback has it at resistance. Something to watch. If it gets across 15, it could be 18. GH pop, we put a swing on it, pulled back and tested the prior high. Did a magnificent job of holding it right there, and now the pop. Near-term target is 30.5, and then I'm looking at 35 and 40. GenFit, gap, 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 and finally a reversal on Friday. Keep an eye on this one for a consolidation or a follow-through. The targets are 6.5 and 7. GNK in the shipping group pulls back to the trend line and price support and bounced on Friday with an engulfing bar. I think if it gets to 23, it's looking at 27. Canada Goose popped and pulled back. We put a swing on it. It's right at resistance here or slightly through it. Any further upside, probably looking at 16 and 18. GPS on Friday exploded. We put a swing on it during the process. It moved up and closed up 657 or 29% on 55.8 million shares. That's a clean breakaway, in my opinion. It's headed for 35. GVA, engineering construction firm, breaks out of a base, retests, and stair steps its way higher. I'm looking for 70.72. HIMS pops, pulls back and tests and spikes again, targeting 26.7. Hood, nice base, breakout, coil, pop, and go. 24 and 28 targets. Harrow breaks out of a base with a breakaway gap, pops and forms a wedge, and now is extended with the target now up here at 23. HRTX, breakaway last November when it was trading under a buck and subsequently gone up fourfold to near 4. This stock looks higher as 5.5 3/4 target. IMMR, big move in the last 3-4 weeks, taking it from 7 to 10. And now a little consolidation here. My targets are 11 and 11 3/4 going forward. I'm at OD with a big breakaway gap and a little flag. This is a tech traded swing. It didn't have a good day Friday, but it did make a new high recently. Let's just say it holds it right there. Target is 15. IPW with an explosive move has taken this stock literally from 50 cents to 3.5, 7-fold increase in just a week. Then a sharp pullback fib retracement. Now a pop and a little bit of a wedge. It's at the apex. Watch this one next week. It's volatile but can fly. If it does, 3 3/4 and 5 might be targets. Jmia, nice flyer last week. Up every day from 555 to 720. Gets through this zone, it'll retest 8 1/4, and then we're looking at 9 or 10. Levi's, nice base, breakaway, and rising channel. This is a two-year high. I'm now looking for a move to 29. LiDAR breaks out of a base, pulls back on wedges, pops, and then pulls back again. Very volatile stock, but I believe 7 may be in the cards. First stop, 5 1/4. LSPD breaks out of a base and we put a swing on it, but it's backing and filling. It's going to need to get above 15.5, 1560. Then you're looking at 18 and 20. MGNI broke out and is now wedging. It's very intriguing to me. That pattern right there, if it breaks, could run 14 and 1560. ML, money line, a tech traded swing when it popped and pulled back has now moved from 60 to 100 and change. Beautiful swing so far. I don't think it's anywhere near done. If it gets up above the Thursday's high, which is 106.82, you might see 120.30 or more. 3M broke out, put a swing on it, flagged and popped. Now it's pulled back again and popped Friday. Looking for 110.11 and 119.20. MRN8 swing, broke out, we put a swing on it, and it did very nicely. Reached both of my targets and pulled back. Friday was a negative engulfing reversal day potentially, so this one must be stopped, in my opinion, under 140. If it goes again, we're looking for a retest at 158 and then 165.68. NRIX, I like this overall chart. Looks like a large 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. Within 4, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now it's kind of a little wedgy. Friday was a nice reversal on it. It's got to get through 18, that's your first scalp target, and now looking 21 and 25. NFLX can't get much stronger than this breakaway gap and rising channel. And if it holds, you can stop under 13.5. I'm looking for 20 and 25. ORN in the engineering construction group, really nice chart. It's that key long-term resistance, but a breakout here could lead to 14. Oscar tech traded swing, broke out. We put a swing on it. It's run up nicely to the targets and pulled back. The next target, in my opinion, is 25. Host popped a base and pulled back, held a moving average and started a new channel up. It did a 1, 2, 3. This is 4. Fifth wave takes me to 1820. Nice. Pan American Silver, one of the largest silver purveyors, is at resistance, and should it get up through 22 3/4, we might see 25 or 6. Pitney Bowes, this little junior base pattern breakout and now platform. Should it get above 5 3/4, 6.5 3/4 is your next target. Impinj was a tech traded swing from back in October when it was in the 60s. It made it a triple to 175. My target now 195. Prime Water, beautiful base breakout flag and then run. Current wedge pattern or coil tells me we go to 25 and 27. REFR, this little junior stock has gone literally from 1 to 2 1/4, and now it's wedging in here. My target's at 285 and 350. RVVG, beautiful red group, is at the top of the channel, but I think it accelerates and runs to 30 and 32. RNA has been a tech traded swing since back in December when it's trading at $6 or $7. It's gone fivefold to 30. My target now 35. Starbulk, another really good looking shipping stock chart. Get through here, and this could be 30, even 33. SE, the Chinese gamer, breaks out of a base. There's a 1-2. This is wave 3 and 4. Fifth wave, 80 and 85 are targets. Seed popped, coiled, exploded, and now has a little bit of a flag that it may have broken out of on Friday. We need some volume. Once we get to 660, the target is 8 and 11. Sweet greens popped with a breakaway gap, ran up and backed off. Broke out of a consolidation pattern with a breakaway gap, now it's flagging. Next target, 40. SGHT, V bottom, ran up, long consolidation coil. Looks like it broke out Thursday, Friday, something like that. Target, 8 1/4. SKX, love the way Sketch has been acting. Long-term chart is impeccable. My target is 78. SLB, we talked about. SMR, pop wedge, and then a slow move up. Friday was a nice engulfing day, but it didn't close great. Let's see if we can get above Friday's high. Above 963, 11 and 13 are targets. In the semiconductor sector, SMTC did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I do like the long-term chart with a move of 46. SRTS, large inverse head and shoulder or V bottom with a right-hand extended V wedge pattern. Breakout. Pull back to test the recent high. 785.8 are your next target. STNG, another shipper with a strong chart. Based on this channel alone, the channel top says 90, maybe 92. Stoke, beautiful biotech stock, exploded, coiled, and popped. And now it's got a little wedgie. Double top, well, if we get through 17, 22 and 28 are targets. Teba, strong rising channel until there, but it did hold support and then right back up again and flagging. Target, 19.5. Tandem, great rising channel underway. It's taken it from mid-teens to mid-50s. It reversed a little bit on Friday, but a target now is 60. TPC in the construction group, breakout, pullback retest, breakout, rising channel, extension target 29. TSHA, maybe breaking out here on Friday of a large consolidation. This junior biotech, if it breaks to 385, might be $5 or $6. ULBI, deck traded swing, popped and ran to the target and pulled back and was now wedging. Keep an eye on this one for a pop. 13 and 15 targets. Vista and the oil and gas group have been impeccable. Look at this chart. Literally 2.5 to 49 over the last 3-4 years, and it still looks higher. Mid-50s target. Vital Farms breaks out of a base and just keeps running. Right now at 41, it's near a key target and resistance at its all-time high, so be careful. But if we break through here, momentum could carry this into the high 40s, low 50s. VRRM, beautiful chart as well. Flagging, target 29 to 30. WGS, tech traded swing, breaks out, flags, pops, coils, looking for 34 and 50. Yeah. Wow, popped out of a base, forming a beautiful coil here. There's a big gap in here that it needs to fill, maybe. Target 6 and 7. And finally, Zeta. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, Zeta. Finally, Zeta popped. We put a tech traded swing on here in April when it popped. It then consolidated in the low teens and ran up to the high teens, actually tagging 1858, and now the pullback. Don't think it's done yet. Looking for 20 and 22. Now look at some of the boxes short so we can finish up. Adobe on the downside did a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To me, a stock that's gone from 641 down to 444 and lost 200 points, usually you want to cover. Not that we were in at the high, but we were in right there about, looks like 150 points higher. I don't know how far they can take this. It's a possibility that it gets down there 400 if the market gets really weak. AKAM, same thing. Breakdown, bear flag. We put a swing on it. It went from 114 to 90. it could be 83, but careful, it did bounce on Friday. AMN, long-term downtrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now a base, or is it another bear flag? Well, if it cracks here, we're headed down to mid-40s. AMWD I added today. I like this hidden shoulder top and breakdown. Don't know how far they can take it, but I would think 74.5, maybe even as low as 65 could be doable. See what I mean? BRZE tech traded swing broke last week, I should say, and you can see that it still may be headed lower to 30. Dash also broke on Friday. It looks like, and then bounced. So that's the problem. It did bounce, but it did get down to 106, finished 110. Maybe a snapback to resistance. We'll see. If it fails, we're looking for 101 and 93. Datadog I added this weekend. I like that topping type pattern. It broke Friday. Technical target stays 97, maybe down to 83. Maybe your target's going forward. Disney did bounce Friday. Obviously it may participate in any market rally, but it's still a negative chart. My target is 96. DraftKings also was added as it used to be a tech trade on swing long, and you can see why. But boy, this left shoulder head, right shoulder broke down with a breakaway gap. I'm pretty sure that we may test the 32 range, and if it gets really ugly, it starts to fall apart, you may be seeing looking at 27. Fox Factory was a tech trader swing short here around 62.3. It dropped down into the high 30s and bounced. Don't know if it's done yet. Next target, 31. GitLab also was added. This thing broke on Friday. We might see a test of the 39.40 range near term, and God forbid it breaks that, then you're looking a lot lower. INFA broke down a bear flag. We put a swing on it, and then bear flagged again and broke down. It bounced a little on Friday, but I still think, based on these technicals, we may be headed for mid-20s. INMD has been negative for a long time. Broke this bear flag of months that developed, and now looks forming another one. If it does continue down, this might be plunging into the low teens. JBL, I added this one too. Breakdown, rising wedge, breakdown, and now what looks like it might be some sort of bear flag in here. Can't tell you yet because of that one bar in between there. Let's just say that if it breaks this pattern, I wouldn't be shocked to see it. Test 100 to 104 in that zone. MDB, big breakdown. Mongo really looked ugly when it broke here, formed a wedge. Let me show it to you. Right there. It got crushed. Obviously, when you see that kind of move, you want to cover, but if it does bounce up to 275.77, it might be a short into the 195-200 range. Sentinel, or a tech trader swing short, broke down, gave you a tech trader swing short. It's dropped from 23.5 and got crushed to 14.5 on Friday alone, and is at support, so that needs to be covered, but it may bounce and go lower. Shopify broke his head and shoulder top and is now weak and holding at support and at a gap. If it fills that gap, we're looking at 48.9. And finally, Yelp, head and shoulder top, breakdown, rising flag, and then a breakdown. And it did bounce late in the week, but a roll over here gets me 33 and 30.31. Folks, that's an exhaustive look at the indices, the underlying technicals, the major components, the major ETFs, and a long list of longs with some shorts as well. Please review this a couple times and get prepared for next week so that you know exactly where we are, and you'll be prepared to trade next week. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Bye now.